Introducing To the Lockdown for the very first time, brought to you by El Natural Skincare. I would like to welcome to the podcast, hailing all the way from Leeds, Great Britain, boasting a perfect record of 30 from 30 wins, including 7 knockouts, the IBF featherweight champion of the world, the Leeds Warrior, Josh Warrington. Is that right?
Not bad, that, mate. Not bad.
That was all right.
I especially like the where you said they're sponsored by the skincare company.
I'll be honest. The skincare company's my company.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah. So
it is.
I thought I'll get nothing from it, to be honest. But I just thought I'd toss that in there because I wasn't sure of like all your sponsors and whatnot. So
that's fine. That's cool.
Sorry, I didn't mean to throw a sponsor. I mean, I can sponsor you if you want, but that's the sponsor of the lockdown. Sorry.
Well, you've got moisturizers and stuff like that.
Keep that skin nice and silky smooth.
Yeah. Good.
No, I actually do. Actually, funnily enough, I do. And this isn't about. By the way, everyone at home, this isn't about me talking about my own products, but I do a few good products that you'd probably be interested in. So I can flick a few your way if you want.
Right. Nice little isolation bundle.
There you go. You can do the face masks and all that. You'll be looking brilliant by the end of this 21-day lockdown.
Oh, sure. I'll be looking all fresh and daisy.
Yeah. How things been going for you, mate? How's things at home?
Yeah, good. Like I say, you've got to look at plus points, haven't you? And plus points is, I've got misses and I've got 2 beautiful girls, and I've been able to spend a lot of time at home over the last 10 days. I had a busy schedule with appointments and meet and greets and things like that planned, but obviously with lockdown, all that gets pushed to one side. So it's been nice to just be at home with the kids and help out around the house as a husband, and get them brownie points in there. And you've got to look at positives, haven't you? Because otherwise you can drive yourself mad, like mentally. So if you think you're having a bad time and not a nice time, you've got to think about those who are out there on the front line doing the 12-hour shifts, the 14-hour shifts, in the NHS, for instance. Even those in the supermarkets who are putting themselves on the front line and stacking the shelves so that we can go out and buy products and everything else. So, someone's always a little bit worse off, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I actually seen an interview the other day that was on Twitter about you saying we're not going to win. We're not going to sit here and have a whinge at the position we're in because there's people out there in worse off positions. I think you bang on about that, and really my heart goes out to a lot of these NHS workers. I was actually speaking to Stevie Ward the other day, and his twin sister is on the front line down at Kent Hospital. Yeah. So, mate, it affects people very close to us, and it's affecting a lot of people at the minute. So, like you said, it's not a position to be in. We're not in a position to complain, are we?
No, this is it. And I say worse. It's not really worse, but it's harder position.
Yeah.
They're more susceptible than us. And we're nice and safe in the home.
Yeah.
Get up and just go put the kettle on whenever we want. So we've got to think about those who've lost family members already to coronavirus. Yeah. So, you just don't take for granted just being sat at home, because some people would like just to be at home and be healthy. So, yeah.
You touched on getting some brownie points with helping around the house. Mate, I've got a 20-month-old going on about 19, I think. He's huge. He's a ball of energy. He's just constant. But you got twins. How's that going for you? Is it hard? Because I know with us us athletes that are used to a schedule, suddenly staying home, I feel like it's a little bit harder than the everyday norm for us. Like taking care of the kids and doing your bits and bops around the house is tough, isn't it?
It is tough, mate. It is tough. Like you say, just like yourself, that on a weekly basis you'll have, a few training sessions a week, and that you'll have your game on the end of the week, and you prepare that through your head, not just physically but mentally as well. Everything's scheduled, but all of a sudden that's just taken away, and then it's like, right, what we're doing now, and all of a sudden, it's a full-time daddy daycare.
Yeah. My missus sits over in the corner throughout the day. Well, not literally in the corner. She's not a creep, but she sits there, and she can see me wearing down slowly throughout the day. How my energy's going throughout the day, and she just sits there and she's just smiling and looking at me and nodding, just going, "Yeah, this is what I deal with every day." I'm like, "Damn it, she's right. It is tough."
Yeah, it is tough, and like I say, especially with twins. I mean, for me and my missus, we don't know any different.
Yeah,
we're straight into deep end. Right. These are our first kids, and straight into deep end. But like, I mean, I always take me off to Natasha anyway. She always does a fantastic job.
Yeah,
them and entertained and everything else. But I give it even more so credit, like I say, over being at home and everything else, because they've just gone 2, and they're at a stage like just like yours, little, and like 2 going on to 22. They've got a little personality. They're starting to really test us in terms of what they can and can't get away with, and it is good fun. But they're energetic. They're energetic, and as soon as they're up, like 7 o'clock in the morning, until 7 at night, they're like Duracell batteries. They just keep on going. So
funny, they observe and learn a lot at the moment, don't they? So
they do.
Be really careful about, I suppose the way I talk and do things around the house, because I find my young fellow like trying to almost copy me and become like learn from me and absorb me and so it's quite a scary thing, I suppose.
It is. They're like sponges at the minute. They're like sponges, and it scares me a little bit because, I listen to news, I read newspapers, I listen to my missus, listen to my pals, and half the stuff just goes in one ear and straight out the other.
Yeah.
And I think
everybody,
I think that they'd be the same, but then, a few days later after speaking, they might just say something out of the blue, and they're like, "Where the bloody hell have they got that from?" But you have got to be careful. But it's been nice to just do things around house, but normally put off, like, because weather's been nice as well.
Yeah.
I was out with pressure washer this week. I was out cleaning the garden. I'm going to paint decking later on today, so
just been waiting for that 21-day lockdown to get the pressure cleaner.
Exactly.
I've mowed the lawn 4 times, so just out in the garden every chance you get.
Yeah, exactly.
I was going to say that. Do you have a decent garden where you can get the girls out and get them out and about, and so it's not all cooped up all days and indoors and whatnot?
No, this is a good thing, and it's like I went for a run yesterday, and I've got a few routes where I live around Garforth, and involves like getting off like the main road, and it goes like down a bit of a dirt track, and that were brimming with people. I mean, obviously people were keeping the distancing, but I seen people out there running, families running together, and obviously I know sun always brings out people on the bikes and going for walks and stuff, but it was good to see just people doing exercise, and I thought to myself as I was going along, is this going to be a change? Are we going to see this on a regular? And also on the flip side of the coin, A&E. A&Es are a lot quieter, and I've seen that a few times on social media. People commenting and how many people are in waiting rooms and how quickly people are getting seen. Does that mean that it normally gets abused on a regular basis? I mean, I know that people are going to work and such, but half the time, A&Es are filled up with people in there for not really serious emergencies, And I try to not go down to hospital whenever I can. The only times over the last few years I've gone down is when it's been something to do with the kids.
Yeah, that's the same as me, to be fair.
Yeah, but for myself, I'd rather I'm fine. I've never had anything what I've needed to go down for. But when I have been down there, I've been frustrated and been quite angry when I look around and seeing that people are treating it as like a day out. And some good might come out of come out of this pandemic.
I think so. I think something good comes from whenever we have hardship in our life, something good comes from it. I believe. It's funny you mentioned that, because it's a tough pill to swallow for me. Coming from Australia, we don't really like the A. We have an A&E, but it's rarely used. You've got to be in a really, really bad way to be dragging yourself in A&E in Australia.
Yeah.
Whereas doctors and clinics are more open to the public to just rock up. Whereas I know for myself, I'm not going to say exactly what clinic and and whereabouts. But sometimes, for an example, the young fella got sick a few weeks back. Before this actually kicked off, actually it was the same weekend that the Leeds Sports Awards were on. And he was having some extremely high temperatures that were scary, and some sort of symptoms that, me and the missus were sort of like getting a bit nervous about and that. So we bring them, and all they'd say to you, either go to A&E or you can wait 2 weeks to come in and see it.
Yeah,
2 weeks. Like, that's just mental to me as an Australian. Like I love living here in the UK. I love Leeds. I love everything about it. But the healthcare system's like crazy like that,
Yeah, it is crazy, and like I say, I think there's you'll have seen it many times on social media. Talking about how they've been and how many call outs have had for non-serious incidents. People just, like I say, abusing it, absolutely abusing it, and it does frustrate me for people who genuinely need it. But it's interesting to see that like them numbers have they've come down real quick, haven't they? People waiting in actual A&E.
Just a quick touch on you're talking about, you went on a run the other day. I've been going on road runs myself. You'd be in the thick of it at the minute, wouldn't you, with getting prepared and whatnot, and keeping your fitness about yourself? And like obviously up until the lockdown, were you in the thick of training and that?
Yeah, I was. Just I can't help myself, Adam. To be honest with you, I'm always trying to better myself. I believe I've got to this stage of my career just because I'm constantly wanting to improve. I look at teams at the highest level, all not just in like boxing, football, but like rugby, cyclists, swimmers. I'm always reading, people at the highest level and see what they do. And one familiar pattern that they all have is obsession.
Yeah,
it becomes an obsession.
Yeah, right.
People like, I don't know, I'm looking down at my bookshelf here. I'm looking at Michael Phelps' book. There's a book called Legacy that I've got by James Carr. It's the New Zealand All Blacks. They all similar chapters in them where they all say that it's a winning mentality and they're not ever satisfied. And that's like myself. I've come out of ring times when I've had good performances and I've got the wins, but like I could have done this better. I could have done that. So. And don't get me wrong, after the fight, I like to eat a bit of a junk and spend time with friends and family. But then a few weeks later, I'm like, I'm a professional athlete. I'm a world champion. I should be in the gym. I should be trying to get myself better. This career don't last forever. So you've got to want to be better, because when you're in that ring and there's your opponent and referee and you've got thousands behind you and that bell goes, if you haven't done the work, you're going to get found out there and then. And it's like, it's too late to be saying, oh shit, I should have done this. I wish I'd have started camp earlier. I wish I'd have worked on my jab. I wish I'd have worked on my movement. So like I boxed October 12th, and then by, I don't know, late November, early December, I was back into normal training.
Yeah.
And I was training hard, and then obviously clocks struck 12 and we went into 2020, and I was, this is it. This is going to be a big year. I'm going to get these unification fights. Obviously, a lot went on in trying to make these happen. Then I switched promoters, signed with Eddie Earn and back on Sky Sports, and it was like we were starting to see light in the tunnel. A few dates have been proposed to me, so we started to ramp it up even more. And then all of a sudden, it just got quiet. So I'm at stage I'm fit now. I'm good, in good condition, but now it's just about tapering it. And when I'm going into gym, like in my own gym, I'll just go in there and I'll just get on bag and I'll just work on a certain combination or work on a certain punch and work on a certain little bit of movements and just try to get that installed into my head, muscle memory. But
I love that term, muscle memory. I think it's a big one for all sports. I think, like you were saying before, if you don't do enough prep leading into anything, and you could probably confirm this, and you sort of just did with what you said. But if you get too complacent leading anything, and you don't have that muscle memory, that's where your downfall generally. I don't know if that's what you see in most boxers when you watch. Because for me, when I watch rugby, I can understand and see and acknowledge where people have maybe got it wrong. Do you see that sort of thing when you watch boxing?
100%. Like you say, you relate that to rugby. The fine way of saying it is, when you were first walk out onto that pitch for yourself, you know, someone throws a ball at you, catch it, no problem. You know, you can throw it back, no problem. You've got the movement, everything's there. The tackles are there. Things timing's on point. Fast forward into 70th minute, 75th minute. Say when there's a lot of pressure going on as well, and the game's really tight, and tiredness takes over. That's when mistakes happen. That's when you can't catch the ball and you start dropping it, or you can't throw it properly, or you throw it forward, or you misjudge a tackle, and that's because your mind's tired and you're going kind of back to a rough basic.
Yeah.
Whereas if you try to perfect that, you'll always have that perfection into the late stages of game, and same for a fight. Fighters go out there with a game plan. They're going to do this, that, and other, and some fighters look $1 million at first 3 rounds. Then all of a sudden, when tiredness starts coming in, looks like they can't move, looks like they can't pick up a jab, and all that game plan goes out winded eventually. And sometimes, if it's been a real tough fight, it comes down to what's installed in the old tin of beans there. So, the more you've worked on it, the more it's going to come just from, like say, muscle memory.
I love hearing that because I've been coaching the last couple of years, and that's one part of the game I've really tried to coach is back ends of games and how we perform at the back end of games.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, the team I've been coaching have always won big games at the back end of games. So, you're back there. With you're saying you switched promoters recently. How's that been going? Is it something that was a big decision to make, or is it something that was fairly easy one to make for the future itself?
Well, for those who don't know, I was with Eddie Earn for a good few years in early stages of my career.
They've switched back, basically.
Yeah, this is it. And then it got to a bit of stage where things got a little bit stale with Eddie, and then Frank Warren was offering me big opportunities. He was able to get the world title fight, get the big fight at Ellen Road, so very thankful for that. But then it just got to a stage where I've been wanting to go to the States for a long time, and I've been wanting to get the unification fight, and it seemed that Eddie was in a better position to deliver it for me. So he did that. I was out of contract with Frank Warren, and then he made an offer, and we liked the sound of it, and that's that. And
always helps. Always.
Yeah, of course. But since I've been away from Eddie, and the Sky platform, they've grown and grown and grown, and now doing more regular shows in the States and things. So that's what I want to be part of. And like I say, all of a sudden we managed to, we're more or less over the line to get unification sorted for the next fight. So I'm happy where I am. But what's more important is I've just got to do the business in the ring.
That's right. Yeah, I don't think anyone would disagree with that decision. Obviously, you always want to better yourself, don't you, and put yourself in a position to keep climbing, no matter what sport you're playing. So I think everyone will agree on that. Basically, I've got a very good mate that I spoke to yesterday from the States, and he asked me if I could ask the question of how you perceive the landscape of boxing will look like going forward, especially in 2020, because I know you were up for a fight this year. You're going to come to Headingley, weren't you? So how do you think things will pan out? Is there any talk of how things will pan out in the near future, or is it just sort of we sit and wait and we just hope for the best after this 21-day lockdown, and then we go from there?
Yeah, I think that the latter. There's nothing much we can really do. They've kind of talked about potential other dates and other stages of the year that we could go to, but nothing's ever certain, especially because we don't know. No one knows what's going to happen, do they? I mean, I guess one advantage of the boxers is the fact of you only need to organise between two parties, whereas like a league of teams need to organise between a number of parties. I just guess there's all the boxers are going to be queuing to get out get some dates, but I'm in a fortunate position that I'm an headline fighter. I'm a fighter what normally fights on TV slots, so I think ours would get pushed to the front of the queue, and especially if the next one's a massive one at Headingley. that also gives opportunity for fighters to fight on the undercard as well. So I don't know. No, at this moment in time, I've just been told that keep yourself in shape, and as soon as everything blows over, then we'll start to go from there. But there's no else you can do.
Nah, that's right.
Dark, really. So,
mate, we're in a similar position ourselves with the Super League. As you know, I think we're in round 6. And
yeah.
Suddenly, it's just all been put on pause, and with no real certainty of the outcome and what we're going to do going forward. So we're in exact same position. I just think it's just such a strange feeling, isn't it, to know that we could potentially not have sport again for the 50 years, isn't it? I mean, I'm not even just talking rugby or sport in general.
Yeah, it's scary, and it's weird, and I think it just goes to show how much sport plays in people's lives.
Yeah, you're right.
I was only explaining this to the missus the other day. Like, some people live for the weekends, and some people live for that Friday night to be in the South Stand at Headingley, or be in the stands or Ellen Road on a Saturday. That's their way of letting out all the frustrations of the week at work. They get into the stands, they have a pint and they have a pie, and then they cheer on the team, and that's their way out for the weekend. And a lot of people, like I say, sport is a massive part of people's lives, and taking that away, then a lot of people are just really struggling at this moment in time. So obviously it's good that like yourself doing things like this, and people all over social media keep the fans and everybody entertained.
Keep everyone interested. Just keep creating content for all the fans to so we can live the journey together, I suppose.
Yeah, of course.
It's funny you say that about the end of the week, sort of going to a match. I never took opposition personal, like the fans of the opposition personal when they'd slag me off if I was walking back under the sticks or anything like that, or even if you heard them shouting specifics at the refs, because I always seen it as just people's way of getting out to a fixture and letting off some steam at the end of the week. I might be someone's boss at work, but just wanting to tell off for a moment in time so they can just get things off their chest. So it'd be really interesting to see, how everyone's actually coping and what it's going to bring to sport when we do get up and running again. I think everyone will probably appreciate it a little bit more that they have these opportunities and start getting out to more fixtures and live matches and whatnot.
Yeah, most definitely. I agree, and I do think that when things get normal, that that's what will happen. I think people will be a little bit reluctant to go travelling the world just for a few more months till everything blows over. But certainly, sporting events, they'll be itching to get out there and be in the stands amongst the atmosphere and amongst the noise, just amongst other people and seeing live sport.
Yeah. What have you been up to in your spare time anyway? I know you're a talented man. I seen the other day on Twitter that you did a cheer up challenge and you're on your guitar. Have you got any other cool hobbies that you get up to in your spare time especially during this lockdown period? Or do you are you a talented DIYer or anything like that?
Not really. I mean, I just try to live life, man. Like people say that they're quite bored in these times. There's so much that I want to do. I want to learn, stuff what I want to do when I've already got planned and made for when I retire. What I can put my time into. For a lot of my life, I've always been short of time. 4 years of my life, I worked as a young 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old. I was studying at university. I was working 4 days a week. I was training as a boxer and trying to promote myself. And I felt like I had no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
So these times when it's quiet, I appreciate them. Camps get busy, and it's not just the training either. It's the stuff after. You've got to you've got to do media obligations. You've got to do sponsorship obligations. You've got to be here, there, and everywhere. So in the downtimes, I like to read. I get the guitar out. I've got a fish tank downstairs. I still need to fill that, like, but I'm getting down to it. A few weeks back, I bought myself some decks.
Oh, nice.
I've still not.
Have you set them up yet? That's half of it.
I've had a little play. I've had a little play. So there's always things to do. And if I'm not doing stuff like that, then like I'm painting my decking or power washing my garden. So there's always something to be done.
Some real exciting stuff. What's your genre of music? Your favorite genre that you're mixing together these days?
I don't know, to be honest. Well, I mean, I've as a young 18, 19-year-old, I were well into dance music, house music, and I were obsessed with like Mix Mag and DJ magazines, and I went Creamfields 3 years on running, but I couldn't afford decks. I was obsessed with like listening to Pete Tong on a Friday night, and I knew DJs, producers, and I was listening to certain labels and things that were bringing out new tracks, and I was obsessed with it, man. But then because I couldn't afford decks, I would that's something I never really got into, and then that kind of faded away. And then I kind of learned how to play the guitar off of YouTube. So yeah.
Oh, you learn off YouTube?
Yeah. I've never had a lesson, and probably
really?
I could probably do one just to like sharpen me up a little bit.
Sharpen up your skills a tad.
Yeah. But yeah, I've just it's nice to be able to pick it up and play. And like I say, when I retire, I'd want to have piano lessons.
Yeah.
I won't mind to.
Oh, mate, I would love. You know what's funny? This section I'm sitting in.
Yes.
Be my piano section. So I had a piano here that I stole, funnily enough, off Ryan Hall.
Right.
Before he moved abroad. So I had a piano here, but then I never ended up using it. Basically, just because all year round, my fingers are just always getting battered, tackling, grappling with players and whatnot. So I've never got a chance to do it. But I reckon the day I retire is the day because I got a guitar as well. And I know a little bit how to play a little bit because I was actually like a punk band in high school.
Right.
Play a little bit, but I was the bass guitarist. So
okay,
the switch over onto an acoustic is a bit tougher. But it's the one thing I'm stinging to do one day, so I'll do it. I even, you know what? It's funny. I even thought about buying like a mix table as well. Just because I thought maybe that'd be easier in some way, like have a bit of fun with it.
Yeah.
You'll be able to create like a bespoke walkout track, won't you?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure about that, like, but
don't want to put that much pressure on yourself.
Yeah, exactly. But this is what about, man. It's about life's about experiences, isn't it?
And,
yeah. Like I love music, so being able to just like have a little jam with guitar and mess about with decks, it's it's good. Enjoy it.
Can you explain a bit to me about so I know in 6 years ago, because you posted the Instagram the other day, you had when you fought at Leeds Arena, you walked out and you had Jamie Peacock walking out, and then I know in 2018, because I remember the day you told me, I thought, yes, go for it, Magsy. Magsy walked out with you in 2018 when you fought at Ellen Road. Can you explain a bit behind that? Like, is that something because you knew them over the years and they're mates, or is it more of a because I know you're passionate about this city, Leeds, just about bringing along those legends, I suppose, of Leeds along with you to join you on that journey?
It's a bit of everything, to be honest with you. Like I say, I'm very, very passionate about Leeds. Obviously, I'm Leeds Warrior. I've got Marching On Together tattooed on my leg. And that's not just because I like the song. I think it has a meaning for the city. Rhinos and for the football club. And it started off with JP. I met him up in Rodley. We're in a boozer, and I was just going to see some of the guys who come to my fights, and he were there, and we were doing a little talking. Then I went over and introduced myself, and I showed him some clips on my phone. I said, "Listen, I'd love you if you come along. I'm fighting at Leeds Arena soon." He said, "Yeah, I'll come along." And I thought not of it. And the next minute, my mate said, "Oh, he's still up for coming down if you want him to come along." So we ended up doing a bit of promotion behind it. And you know what? It was just nice to have his presence in the change room. Yeah. It really uplifted me. And every now and again, he'd just say a few things. And and I get really pumped up on that, just from talking about his own experiences on big games and things like that, and I don't know, I felt as we were walking to the ring, he was part of entourage that it, it just gave me a lift. It gave me a massive lift, and obviously it was nice to show appreciation to such a sporting legend of the city like JP as well, just to have him carry the belt out. So he went on from there, and like I say, I've had Danny Maggs, I've had Jamie Jones Buchanan as well do it. So I've always tried to get like Rhinos or Leeds United legends, come along and be part of it, and just it adds to the atmosphere, and it's motivation for me, and it just makes it a bit special, especially when we fight Leeds.
I love it. Would you I was going to ask at the back of that question is what goes through your thoughts when you're actually walking out for a fight, because I know what it's like, and I've been blessed to share the sheds with those three fellas, so I can imagine how not comforting, but I suppose you could use the word comforting. That it gives you an air of confidence, doesn't it, when you got some legends around you like that, especially the likes of JP. I know only playing one season with him. I'm not the most overly serious guy before I go into the field. I suppose to a sense, JP isn't either during his time. I don't know if that was the way he was his whole career, or whether it was just the back end when we started, when we finished that year off together in 2015. But one thing he did teach me, apart from the Superman pose to get ready for basically what we call like the bell when we kick off, was just the ability to just to flick the switch and just be game ready, and know when it's needed. That ability to, maybe manage yourself well in the sheds. You start walking down that tunnel and you're lined up for kickoff. It's game time, it's go time. We're ready to go. What sort of goes through your head when you're coming out that tunnel and you've got the crowd there and marching on together, playing and whatnot? I can imagine it'd be, because I go out there with 13 players or 17 players every week. Go out there alone. Geez, it must be a daunting place.
Yeah, it is. It's a surreal experience, mate. I'll never be able to put it all into words, because you've got so many emotions going through your head at that moment in time. I mean, you've got a little bit of nerves going on, you've got a little bit of anxiety going on, but you're excited. This is what you've been training for months and months and months, and it all comes down to that little moment. And as your career progresses, it don't matter what you've done beforehand. It matters about that next fight in front, because in boxing, it's not a case of, all right, if you lose that fight, you get another opportunity next week. It might be another few months, it might be another few years before you get another opportunity, especially at the level that you're at. And I always look at like someone like Carl Frampton. He lost his world title against Leo Santa Cruz in their rematch in 2017, and the next time he got a shot at world title is against me. December 2018, and he had to have 3 fights in between that. Don't matter how big your profile is or how many fans you've got behind you, you're not guaranteed to get another shot straight away, and that's just sometimes the way it goes. So for me, it don't matter if I've got Mickey Mouse in opposite corner. It's not written. I've still got to beat him before my career moves forward. So it's funny because you're just aiming for that one day, and then when it comes around, I always say it, I just feel alive. I mean, it's like now I'm talking to you. I've just had a cup of tea. I'm laid back. I'm in camp. All I've got to look forward to is I might have to go training, then I come home and I've got a media obligation. But when it comes to the fight night, that's when it all matters, because everything you've done comes down to that moment, and it has to be right then. It has to be right. You can't be having no slip-ups. You can't have no mess abouts. So, as you can imagine, a lot's going through your mind. I'm not even thinking about the next day. No other time exists after that fight, and it's all about that moment. So when I'm in change rooms, over years, I've learned to control myself and not get so worked up about that. I just try to keep it relaxed. My dad's my main trainer as well, so we have a bit of a.
That probably helps.
Yeah. We have a good laugh, and all the team all my team around me are pretty relaxed. So we have a giggle with a playlist on. Like I say, over the years, we've had some legends of Rhinos or Leeds United in there as well. So they tell me a few stories. They might tell me a few scenarios of when they've been walking out to big games, and I can I get pumped up from that. And then normally when I'm warmed up, I'll be sat there in my shorts on, my gloves on, and around 10 minutes to go, I'll just sit down and I'll take myself to a corner and just sit there, and everyone else starts getting a bit more serious, and there's a bit of a tension in the air. I mean, ask JP or Jamie Jones Buchanan or Danny Maggs about this, and they'll have like seen it and experienced it, and it does get very tense because it all comes down to that moment, and you're thousands, and I'll just have a little minute to myself where I think of everything that I've sacrificed to get to that moment. I go over game plan in my head. I ask myself, how bad does this man in the opposite corner want it? Will he want it as bad as me? Is he prepared to go as far as I want it? Then we get called to the ring, and for me on that ring walk, I'm just like telling myself, this is it. What will be will be. There's no else you can do. You've done all your training. Just go out there and put it all out there. And over the last few fights, I just try to enjoy the whole experience of the ring walk, and because they don't come around that often now. I only probably fight twice a year, and it's a surreal feeling stood on that ramp about to walk to the ring. They announce you, and you've got like say thousands singing marching together and going to I Predict a Riot. I try to just soak it all in, because as I'm looking about at people's faces, there's people who are there who are sharing the same energy as me, and I'm looking in their faces and I can see they want it as bad as I want it. They're looking at me, they're like, "Come on, Josh!" It's like they're about to go do the fight as well. So I'll walk along, just try soak all that in, and then when they give the introductions, I start to really like switch up myself on, and then when we go to centre ring and touch gloves, that's when the horse blinkers kind of go in, and over experience and over years, I've learned to when to turn it on and turn it off. I don't want to be turning it on like 20 minutes beforehand, because I don't want to be eating into energy I don't need.
Right. Don't want to burn the fuse.
Yeah, exactly. So everyone gets out of the ring. I always give my dad a hug and a kiss, and as he gets out, that's when I'm looking across the ring. They will say, the judges will shout, "Seconds out, round one," and that's when bang, that's it. I'm in the room then. You know what I mean? It's no one else exists apart from my opponent.
What did Jamie Jones Buchanan say to you before the match? Because I reckon there's you and Jamie are two of the most passionate Leeds supporters or Yorkshiremen that I've ever come across. To be fair, did he give you a speech, or did you just think, oh, it might be a bit too long, I'll just save that for later?
Yeah, he just kept on telling me little stories of certain games that he would get.
Little stories, Jamie. He doesn't have little stories.
But I think he was keeping it reserved, because, like I said, there's a fair few characters in the changing room, so he would keep himself reserved, and every now and again he just tell me a little story. And then
he would have been chomping at the bit. He would have been like, I know him so well. He would have been like a ball of energy. Ready to He probably would have gone out there and had that fight with you in that ring mentally.
No, he wanted until after the fight, when we came back to change rooms, that he exploded and just let out how grateful he was to be in that, and how he just took it all in. And I was sat there, I kind of kept on looking at him when I'm getting warmed up and thinking, this kid's bored. He wants to be at home. But then when we got back to change rooms after the fight, he was like, fucking hell, what an experience. I absolutely loved that. Like, oh my God, it's just an honour to be here. I don't know. I guess he did enjoy it then. So
yeah, 100%.
It was good to have him there, mate. It was good to have him there, and I've become a good friends with him ever since.
I was quite fortunate to recently do a tour of Papua New Guinea with him, and I thought he was going to try to fight me a few times on that tour. But we're very good mates, me and Jamie, so I know him very well, so I understand what he's probably going through. Hey, what sort of got you in, like, you talk about boxing. For me growing up, rugby league was huge in Australia, or, I wasn't really surrounded with football or anything like that. But as a kid, what actually motivated you to actually want to get in the ring to begin with? Because I can imagine it'd be a sort of a tough sport to fall into as a kid. Were you playing football or rugby or anything like that prior to getting into boxing?
Oh man, I love, it's like any other council estate kid from a northern working class city in England. Love football. Obsessed with it. Used to just play football noon and night. Go into the street, play football. Go up to the field, play football. I mean, I would just play on hours and end. But as enthusiastic as I was, I want the more.
I seen your on Twitter and on Soccer AM the other day. You volleyed.
Let's not talk about that, shall we?
when I looked at it, I thought he's about to belt this in the back corner or something. You skied it out off the pitch.
You know what? I anticipated the bounce to come a little bit further than it did. Yeah. The positioning was all wrong, and a few more goals I'd have nailed it, but no,
it's one of them things that, when you're on the spot, the camera's on you.
Yeah.
Like if the camera wasn't there and no one was watching, you'd probably belted the back.
I'd have smashed it in top bins. But no, what had happened is I was just an energetic kid. A kid growing up in the 90s. I would just before the digital era really came in. So I would probably the last batch of kids who made dens, played hide and seek. Just did anything to keep active, climb trees, go on bike rides, and that was just me constantly active. I also used to watch WWF in the.
I think we all did, didn't we? We're a similar age. I'm a bit older. This exactly how much, but
and back then they were probably a little bit more violent than it is now. Stone Cold Steve Austin breaking into auditorium with a monster truck and smashing people overhead with steel chairs and that. I mean, for me as a 7-8 year old, that were as real as it could get, man. I mean, that used to make hairs on the back of my neck stand up, and then that'd be it. I'd be play fighting with brothers. I'd be making tables out of cardboard boxes at home and suplexing them through it.
The old suplex. Me and my mates used to always watch the wrestling. We used to actually, because back then, obviously, not everyone was privileged enough to have like Sky TV, Sports or anything like that, or any of the paid TV, should I say. So we used to all gather up at one of my mates and just watch it all. Like there would have been like 15 of us at a time sat around this TV watching like WrestleMania. It was mental.
That was same. I used to go around to my neighbours because we didn't have Sky TV for many years, and I used to go around to Wee's, and then next minute we'd go upstairs and he'd take mattress off his bed, and then we'd have a wrestle. It'd be like 2 moves each. I'll do a DDT and then a pedigree, and then you can do your 2 moves.
What was your best move then?
I love the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah.
Oh, I love the stunner or rock bottom, but
rock bottoms. Yeah.
But I mean, my old fellow used to say, you need to knock that on edge. You're gonna work your brothers. Or you're gonna do something daft. So it took me to karate and the local club that I went to.
Yeah.
They were like more into the kata side of it rather than the physical stuff. And I used to love going down and putting my suit on and doing the kicks and the flips and stuff. But the katas, I just didn't have the patience for it. So it took me to a boxing gym, and I remember walking in, hearing the sound of the bags, and there were 2 lads sparring, and thinking, wow, I wouldn't mind doing a bit of this. So I wanted to get involved there and then, and ever since it just stuck to me like a bug, and I could never let it go. Even when my pals were like going for trials at football teams, and they were saying, "Come along, Josh, come on, you'll get in team, no problem." I was like, "Oh no, I'm going boxing tonight. I'm going boxing," because no one else were doing it, and I just felt it was just something special to do. And then by the time I got to a teenage lad, man, it was like a drug. I couldn't let it up.
When did you realise you're always going to believe that you can be the best, and you're great at doing what you love, and obviously it was a passion of yours. But when did you really sit back and go, "Oh yeah, I could be a professional here at this"?
You know what? It used to scare me, to be honest with you. I mean, I got to a stage of about 16, and I was starting to spar with professionals.
Yeah.
Fighters who were going on to fight for British titles and area titles and English titles, and I was getting called in to do a bit of work with them, but it still scared me. The thought of fighting 12 rounds seemed a long time, and I never had like serious ambitions of going on to win a world title like that. And I mean, you see some fighters in the like 10-year-old, I'm going to be a world champion, I'm going to do this and other. For me, it was a case of right, let's just see how we go on. And I know I'm going to fight for in the Olympics or anything like that. I just wanted to be a professional. And when I turned pro, it was just a case of right, let's see if we can win a British title. I'll be an happy man if I can win a British title. And that was my little goal. You know, I set the bar fairly high, but I didn't think it was out of reach.
Yeah.
And that were it. Around 16, I thought, you know, when I turn pro at 18, we'll see how far we can go. And I put the like the bar at there at the British title, and you know, I achieved that like 3 years into my pro career.
A good one for like, what would be a good bit of advice you'd say for any like young kid out there, like that went through a similar scenario where they realised, you know, boxing may or may not, when they come to the point where they realise they want to get involved in something as like boxing, what sort of tips would you give from at the get-go, like the start of their career, and what sort of, you know, what sort of difficulties did you have to overcome before it started to become not easier, but, you know, I suppose a little bit more regimented in your lifestyle where you actually started enjoying it a lot more?
I'd say a few things. A few things come to mind straight away. Persistency. You've got to be. You've got to keep on going. You've got to be consistent. You can't like get frustrated because you're not going to get like super fit overnight. It comes over time. You know, sometimes it feels a bit frustrating doing the basics, like learning a jab and you're throwing it over and over again in the mirror, then throwing it over and over again at the bag. But the only way that you get to a very good level is by just doing it over, like we said earlier, memory, doing the runs. Sometimes you think, I can't do this, I'm tired. But once you get out there and get in there and get it done, you'll feel a lot better once you've done it. So sometimes you think, I can't be bothered going training tonight. But if you force yourself to go, just get the session done. It's another one in the bank, and they start to add up. So there's going to be times when you just can't really be bothered. But it depends how bad you want it. If you want to be a boxer and you want to be serious about it, then you've got to be consistent in the training. But if you don't, you just want to play at it, then, you know, after it, that is one thing. And secondly, you do get immune eventually to getting punched at the nose. as a 9-year-old, I always used to have a bust nose. Always used to have a bust nose. My mum got fed up with washing my clothes with blood in it. But you know, eventually it toughens up. Your skin does toughen up. Your body does toughen up, and your body adapts. And you know, I'm doing all right this far with it.
No, you're doing all right, mate. I can agree with that. I get busted nose all the time, mate. I've broken it that many times. It's not funny. It's flat face these days. To be honest, that question wasn't for young kids out there. That was actually for me. I was actually like thinking, I could never go on this. I could never go. I don't ask him without it being weird.
I will also say one more thing as well. Don't get disheartened. Yeah. Don't get disheartened if you do actually have a few fights and have a few amateur fights. But the hell, as an amateur, I won my first 3 fights, and then I lost 3 after that. Yeah. And I'm like, bloody hell, you know, when I won my first 3, I was like, wow, I'm gonna be an undefeated amateur boxer. That never happens, you know.
Well, that's probably the best bit of information you could have given, because I don't think you know, fans of yours or these kids that tune in to see you fight would know those sort of stats. You know, they might not know you've lost before. They might just see the big 30 from 30. You know what I mean?
Yeah. This is it, and not only that, like, you know, fast forward down the line in my pro career, bloody hell, mate, like the amount of times when I've had a bad sparring session and I've walked out of gym like with my eye throbbing or bust lip or a bust nose, and I've been absolutely banjoed from pillow to post by one of my sparring partners, thinking, wow, I'm fighting soon, and this guy's just beat me up. How am I going to perform on the night? But then, you know, it comes round. You know, there's a lot what goes into what people don't see, and it's how you bounce back. It's, you know, you toughen up as you come from these adversities and through these hard times. So you've just got to keep at it.
What do you think was harder, to get your title, so your belt, or to retain it?
Um, I think it was long. It was a long old road to get to where I wanted to win the world title.
Yeah,
It was many, many, many years going through fights, training sessions, sacrifices,
yeah.
doubters, haters, all that. So I think getting there, but once I was there, like it, I mean, I put a bit of pressure on myself because I used like,
Your biggest you self-owned critic? Are you
yeah,
critical of yourself?
and obviously you want to keep on adding notches to the legacy. You know, keep
Yeah,
on as many defenses as you can and going and winning more titles. But then I've got to realise that I'm at a stage where not many people get to this stage, and I've got to enjoy it, man. I'm a world champion. It's not like I don't put it as too much pressure anymore. It's more enjoying it. You know, I'm in these big world title fights, and as a kid growing up, I never thought I'd be at that stage where I'm partaking in them kind of things. But I'm here now, so why not enjoy it? Because it don't last forever, and another 10 years I'll be fat and retired. So just enjoy these moments.
well, I'm fat and I'm not retired. I've been absolutely dragging myself into these road runs, man. I don't know how you do them. I get about 2 meters out the front door, and everything clicks in my knees, and everything goes in my elbows and that. And then all I'm thinking about is what point can I turn around and get back home?
How far do you do?
The other day I ran, so it wasn't a huge run. I did like a run out to Golden Acre Park,
Yes.
which was about 6K. So I do that non-stop. And then I got out there and did like 10 100-meter sprints. And then I got picked up by the missus and driven back home. So I didn't run back home. But yeah. But I mean, it was considered like, it's a different sport, isn't it? Considering, I haven't done a lot of road runs in a long time. I used to love them, by the way. Growing up, that's all I used to love doing, road runs. Actually, my friend that is a boxer actually introduced me to them. He used to take me on them all the time. It's great. Just a great way to get out and see parts of the area you live in that you might not see otherwise. So yeah, no, I try. I'm trying. I think a whole team of us trying at the minute to get out and push ourselves to do it. So it's tough work, but it's something that we're going to do because you never know when the season's going to start again. So
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We're going to make. Hey, being a massive Leeds United fan, how's the season from your eyes gone for us so far? I mean, I know we're successful as hell at the moment, but from what does it actually mean to you as a supporter, especially not being promoted in 19 years, being played up in the Premier League for 19 years, now to see us on the verge of going back up, but with all the lockdown going on and the potential removal of the season and not seeing it played out?
I mean, it's frustrating. Obviously, it could probably only happen to Leeds United being in this position. It's it'd be just typical Leeds, and it's not Leeds' fault, but it could only happen to us. But yeah, man, we've just got to stay positive and stay optimistic. I don't like thinking about the season just finishing like that. I'm just keep telling myself that we're going to get back to it and we'll finish these games off. I mean, but when I started going down to Welland Road and we're flying high in the Premier League and we're in the Champions League and we're like giants of Europe, as a young kid, you don't think them times are going to ever end.
Yeah, that's right.
And then you get to a teenage lad, you start to fall in love with a club and you attach emotions to it, and then you start going along on your own and with your pals, and that's when things went downhill. And you look at the size of the city, and like Leeds as a city has always been massive sport with its rugby and its cricket, but football I think's always been like the top sport of the city. I mean, when Leeds United were flying high, I remember as a kid walking around City Centre and everyone had Leeds United backpacks on and people walking around with Leeds United replica shirts and hoodies and things like that. And it does massive. It does massive to the city's economy and everything else. And over recent times it's been hard, but then over the last few years it's been really good. It's like it's back in the big bit of positivity back down Ellen Road, and I just hope that, you know, if we do carry on with this season, that they can carry on where they left off. The only thing is that everyone else is going to have had time to recharge mentally and physically.
Yeah, that's right.
And teams what we're about to go, or starting to go through a bit of a poor run of form, they will have been able to shake that off now. You know, we'd gone through our blip, we'd gone through our bit of a sticky patch, and we were getting into good form again. And teams below us, like Fulham, were starting to really struggle a bit. Now they'll have a chance to recharge and re-energize and get like a bit of fight back in the belly. So that does worry me a bit, but I can stay optimistic, I guess.
I think it'll be a great test. It'll create some character and it'll definitely create some resilience with the squad. Because I'm currently doing my Masters in Sports Directorship at the moment, and there's a lot of ex-footballers / SDs on the course as well, currently in clubs, and they're talking about it going forward. So I think it will go forward. But I think what it will create is a brilliant test to see whether, you know, we're worthy of being promoted anyway. I know we are. What Marcelo is doing with the team over the last couple of years has been outstanding. So I think we've got the ability to go up and be competitive. But obviously, we've got to get out of this hump first, don't we?
Yeah, this is it. And like I said, the Championship's a funny old league. I mean, I know in the summer months before the new season starts again, that teams can go out and strengthen. But some teams who you know, the previous season might have been fighting relegation, they can come back with the same squad, and all of a sudden, you know, the start league and absolutely flying, and teams what a favour to do the business. Start off with a bit of a rocket patch, and I hope that that's not what's going to happen when we do get underway again. You know, that teams have been able to pull themselves out, because it's a busy old league, is the Championship, and it's about timing. And I think that we were just about to time it and peak at the right stage of the season. But you know, with all this little bit of a break, I don't know how it's going to play out when we get back to it. But
I'm sure we'll be fine. I'm sure.
Yeah.
One thing we do have in common is we both got awards this year. I didn't have that there waiting or anything like that, but we both got awards this year at Leeds Sports Awards, didn't we?
We did, mate. We did. What an honour! What an honour!
Yeah, mate. You know what? Honestly, I've achieved a few grand finals and whatnot in my time. Runners up for Man of Steel and Super League 15. This was one of the greatest honours I've ever had because it represented the city. I just thought it was outstanding to have, and I love how the city's actually taken it. Part of me felt guilty when I got up there because, funnily enough, you were up before me, and you gave a speech that sent tingles down the back of my spine. I thought, flipping hell, that guy, he just loves this city. And I was going to talk about how much I love the city, but I didn't know how to put it or how to justify how much I love the city that would not top you, but you know what you said and the way you spoke passionately, I just thought was outstanding. So I thought I just thought I'd wind it back in, put my speech and just dumbed it down a little bit, and just thought no one wants to hear some stupid Aussie up there on stage winning this league, but very proud of that achievement and getting that award.
That's good though, man. That goes to show, you know, you've just said yourself that you're very proud of that award. So that means that, you know, the city does mean a lot to you. So yeah, good on you, man. Good on you. It's good to hear.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I've definitely embraced the city, and I'm glad that the city's embraced me as well. It's been great. Hey, I'll move on to a couple of questions I've been asking everyone.
Yep.
I was gonna start with sanity stories because the other day with this lockdown going on, you're not allowed to leave much of that. I had like an insane moment where I just wasn't thinking, and it made me feel a little bit stupid. So I was going to start with sanity stories, but I'm sure you that switched on at the minute. And you're training and everything, and you got a proper routine going. You probably don't have any, do you?
Have any what stories?
So I in this lockdown, I got to this point where I lost my mind a bit the other night because I feel like a caged tiger.
Yeah.
Also, and I went upstairs to get ready to have a shower, and I don't know what I was getting ready before. To be fair, I was just coming back downstairs to sit on the couch. But I went upstairs and I had a shower, and as I was about to get in the shower, there was this silver like you know when you put the tops of like yogurt or something and you peel them back. So it was like a silver thing like that with white stuff all over it. And I went up there, and my brain automatically told me that it was the top of a yogurt. For some reason, I picked it up and licked it, and it was my missus' Nivea cream. Oh, mate. And I just thought, what a stupid thing to do. So I just thought if you'd had any moments like that the last couple of days where you've just gone, what have I done that for?
I do stuff like that all the time. I do stuff all the time. My latest one is I keep leaving car unlocked and walking in with just car unlocked. But I do stuff like that all the time. And I go put like sometimes I meant to put like balls in the dishwasher. I end up putting them in bin. Like man, this boxing game's taking a toll on me all day.
Hey, it's an easy fix. Don't have to wash it. Don't have to put it back away. Just chuck it out.
Exactly. Yeah. Just we might have a few less balls and stuff like that. But yeah, I keep doing stuff like that.
Won't be too impressed though.
No, she's not. She's not. She just says I'm an half job at the minute. She calls me half job Josh. Josh. So she's like, right, I'm gonna go up after kids. You clean kitchen after we've had tea, and she comes back down after bathing them and dressing them. And when she comes back down, I've wanted like put a few pans in wash bowl to soak. Soak. I've loaded dishwasher, and then I've kind of just half wiped the sides. So yeah,
you put pans in the sink to soak. Basically, as a way of saying I couldn't be asked doing it right now. It doesn't really do anything, does it?
No, it doesn't do absolutely nothing. But I just seem to move things around. Put things in daft orders, but yeah, it's I do daft stuff like that all the time,
To be fair, so do I. I just thought I'd make it a question I'd ask people during these interviews.
Fair enough.
Here's a question for you. During this lockdown, if you started the lockdown again and you had 21 days to start again, and you had 3 people to choose from to spend the lockdown with, and you cannot choose your family or pets, who would you choose and why?
That is a big question, mate.
I've spoken to a few people. While you're thinking, I can explain who I've said. I've said Richard Branson, because I'd like to pick his brain, like in a business sense. Dave Grohl, because I love his stories from when he played in Nirvana through the Foo Fighters, and just because he'd create some brilliant music to have around the house. And I've said Eddie Murphy because he just keep everyone laughing.
Yes, that's they're 3 good ones actually. They're 3 very good ones. I'd say Liam Gallagher because
good choice.
I fucking love Oasis and
he'd have good stories too, wouldn't he?
Yeah, he'd have fucking class stories, man. When he's just I mean, you've seen him on Twitter when he gets on his little rants and things like that. It's absolutely brilliant. I'd have Jordan B. Peterson. Right. I've read he's a Canadian psychologist, and the guy's intelligence is just absolutely crazy. The way that he puts sentences together as well, it just makes. I mean, I'm not the most intelligent of fellas anyway, but the way that he talks is unbelievable. Yeah. We just sit there listening to him. And thirdly, I'd probably say off the top of my head, I'll go over a comedian. I say Kevin Bridges because I like him. I think he's funny as well. So we're having a giggle that way.
They're just all entertainment there, really.
Yes.
So 2 entertainers and just someone getting everyone's heads.
Yes. Yeah. Just leaving us mashed.
That's brilliant. Hey, when you heard of the lockdown, did you go for a big shop at all?
No.
You didn't?
No. I didn't want to be a sheep.
No, I didn't. I don't mean like someone that went out and like hoarded a bunch of stuff. I just mean, did you go get prepared for 12 to 21 days?
No, not really, because I try to avoid doing stuff like that near Christmas as well. I haven't got, me and the missus always say like the shops are only going to be closed for a few days, whatever. So, just instead of like wasting food and throwing it away, you just get what we need, and then it don't like take 2 minutes to jump in the car and go again. And just like now we're getting online deliveries, just get what needs to see us through, and you don't want to be throwing food away and that. So
I haven't looked into online deliveries yet. You know what I've been doing? I've been sneaking out down there like I'm on the set of Walking Dead. Like, if I'm walking up to the shops up the road, I'll like sort of go back ways, and I'm always looking over my shoulder. And if someone walks the other way, you sort of walk in that direction, and you veer out and around each other. Don't you? It's weird.
Yeah, I was there today with it was a little bit weird. Everyone just like eyeballing each other as we're going down the aisles, like, you know, how close you were going to get, where you were going to stop, what you were looking at. You know, it was just a little bit weird. We get the online deliveries, and the girls love it when the drivers come. They just go run up to the doors and they start unpacking everything and bringing it into the kitchen. So a little activity for them to do when the shopping comes.
Whatever kills time, man.
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just going to finish with you got a message out there from everyone potentially watching this. You know, a few people have sent messages out just to keep safe and sort of that stay home message from your opinion of things and that.
Yeah, just like what you've already probably had, but you know, there's a reason why the experts are saying, you know, stay at home, and they are hard times, but they'll pass. I mean, this is some stuff that we've never seen before, but take advantage of just being at home. Take advantage of being around your family, and if you're not around, you know, there's some people who aren't around the family, aren't fortunate to be around there. Just, you know, you've got to keep going. There are testing times, but obviously there's people that are losing lives out there, so, you know, stay positive. You know, it's like very, very difficult times, but, you know, we'll maybe further down this year, we'll look back at this time and think, wow, what a part of history we was riding through. What a wave of life, and I don't think there'll be another time like this again. Not in foreseeable future, but, you know, you just got to ride it, man. You've got to ride it.
Sound. Thank you very much, mate.
No problem. No problem.
And thank you for coming on the lockdown and brilliant chat.
No worries. Enjoyed it. And now, making his way from the kitchen, previously in the fridge, a former player of the Leeds Rhinos. He is from Sydney, Australia, where he's known as Adam the Beard. It's Adam Cuthbertson. There he goes, an absolute animal of the game, wearing his big robe, the blue gloves. He is a carrier of a bad wrist. He has 17 fights, 16 wins, only one defeat to the lion on the sofa. He's there to seek revenge. Come on, Cuthbo, they scream in the stands. There you go.
Fuck, that felt good. That felt so good.
Yeah, decent, mate. Decent. You're natural.
I think we're going to take up boxing. That got my ego going. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to... Come on, then.
You were in the moment then, mate. You was in the moment.
I was. You know what? I got the footwork for it. I just don't have the punch.
Happy days.
Thank you for that, mate. Appreciate it.
No problem.
Stay healthy. And I wish the best to you and your family over this period.
Same to you.